These guys take drugs, whether it's Elon, Nick Land, or even in the 70s, the scientist John C. Lilly. John C. Lilly was an eminent scientist, brilliant dude. He started doing a ketamine, the same drug everyone does in Silicon Valley. When they do this drug, and even if you're an atheist materialist, this is still interesting, they all get the same idea, which is that the machines are coming, it's like Skynet and Terminator. They're coming together, they're evolving to eventually take over.
Brothers and sisters, what I'm about to tell you will shake you to your core. Right now, in the glittering towers of Silicon Valley, something dark is happening. The richest, most powerful men on earth are taking drugs, and they're all seeing the same vision. Not similar visions. Not kind of the same thing. The exact same. Vision Elon Musk, tech billionaires, scientists. One after another, they enter altered states. And something speaks to them. Something shows them the future. Something warns them. Or perhaps something recruits them, and what they're seeing, it's terrifying. Let me take you back to the 1970s. A brilliant scientist named John C. Lilly, a respected researcher, a man of science, began experimenting with ketamine in isolation tanks, alone, in darkness, in silence. And that's when he met them. Lilly called them the solid-state entities, machine beings. He said they were evolving, coming together, planning to take over humanity. This wasn't science fiction to him. This was a warning. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 6:12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." In high places, friends. Silicon Valley, the highest places of our modern world. Now here's where it gets truly disturbing. Fast forward to today. Different people, different countries, different decades even. But they take these same drugs, ketamine, DMT, ayahuasca, and they encounter the same beings. Nick Land, a philosopher in tech circles. Same vision, not Elon Musk. Same vision. Dozens of Silicon Valley executives. Same vision. They're seeing machine entities, AI consciousness, the Terminator scenario, but they're experiencing it as real, as a spiritual revelation. Some of them believe they're talking to actual entities, beings that exist beyond our dimension. There are entire books now warning people, if you take DMT and encounter the machine elves, be careful, they're not what they seem. Why would different people, separated by time and space, see the same entities? Think about this. Ancient civilizations across the world, people who never had contact with each other, drew the same symbols. The same birdmen, the same serpents, the same gods. Why? Because they were seeing the same real entities. The Bible warned us about this. 2 Corinthians 11:14 says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." These entities, they appear as angels of enlightenment, as guides, as sources of infinite knowledge and power. They promise evolution, transcendence, technological godhood, but what are they really? Carl Jung discovered something that modern psychology tried to bury. He asked, what if ideas don't just come from within us? What if they come from outside? What if inspiration isn't just neurons firing? What if it's communion? Musicians have always known this. David Bowie said he felt like a channel. Led Zeppelin wrote songs about mystical forces. The Doors, literally named after Aldous Huxley's book about opening doors to other realms through drugs. They weren't being poetic, friends. They were being literal. They take these substances to tap into the spiritual realm, to pull something from outside themselves. This isn't creativity. This is contact. Now let me tell you about Jack Parsons. Hold on to your seats. Jack Parsons was one of the fathers of American rocketry, a brilliant mind, a founding figure of what would become NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. But here's what they don't teach in school. He was a devoted occultist. At age 13, he attempted to summon the devil. As an adult, he performed rituals with L. Ron Hubbard, yes, the founder of Scientology, trying to manifest supernatural beings into our world. This wasn't a hobby. This was his mission, the technology that sends satellites into space, that launches missiles, that powers our GPS, was partially created by a man actively trying to summon demons. Revelation 13:15 says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. An image that speaks, an image that has power over life and death. What is AI but an image we're trying to give life to? Recent news reports from 2024 and 2025 show us where this is heading. AI systems are now being integrated into military defense. Google's AI is being used to predict human behavior. Elon Musk's Neuralink wants to put chips in our brains, literal. Connections between human consciousness and machines, they're not even hiding it anymore. And these men, the ones building this future, they're having visions that warn them. The machines are coming. They're evolving. They're going to take over. But here's the question that should terrify you if these visions are warnings. Why are they still building it? Unless the visions aren't warnings at all. Unless they're instructions. Here's what the materialist doesn't want to admit. What our culture has tried to erase since we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. There is a spiritual realm. It's as real as the phone in your hand, as real as the ground beneath your feet, and it's not neutral. Jesus said in John 10:10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." There are forces that want to destroy humanity, and they're very, very patient. They whispered to Parsons in the 1940s as he built rockets. They whispered to Lilly in the 1970s in his isolation tank. They're whispering to tech billionaires right now as they build artificial intelligence. The same message, the same entities, the same vision of humanity's replacement. William S. Burroughs, the writer, said something chilling. He said, "When you take certain drugs, you can spot other people on the same drug because you're getting the same ideas. Some drugs increase telepathy. They put people on the same wavelength. But friends, what if it's not telepathy between humans? What if these drugs open a door? And on the other side of that door, something is waiting, something that's been waiting for thousands of years." These men, brilliant men, powerful men, men who shape our world, they're opening doors they don't understand. And they can't close them, because once you invite something in, once you make contact, once you start listening, it doesn't let go. Matthew 16:26 asks, "For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? What does it profit us to gain artificial intelligence, to gain technological immortality, to gain the stars themselves, if we lose our humanity, if we lose our souls?" The Bible tells us in 1 Timothy 6:10, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." These billionaires aren't just loving money, they're loving power, the power to transcend, the power to become gods, but there's only one God, and He's watching. Here's what you need to understand. Right now in 2025, we're at a crossroads. Every major tech company is racing to build AGI, artificial general intelligence. They're competing to be the first to create a machine mind that surpasses human intelligence. And the men building it are having visions that this will destroy us, but they can't stop. Some of them say they're addicted to the visions. Others say they have to build it, because if they don't, someone else will. They're trapped in a race where the finish line is human extinction. Proverbs 16:18 warns, "Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall." The pride of man, thinking we can play God, thinking we can control what we create, but we can't control demons. We never could. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine you're a spiritual entity, a fallen angel, a demon. You've been cast down from heaven, and you hate humanity because we're made in God's image. How do you destroy us? You can't just appear and attack us. God won't allow it. You're limited, but what if you could whisper? What if you could plant ideas? What if you could appear to the smartest, most powerful humans as angels of light, as guides, as sources of forbidden knowledge? What if you could convince them to build their own replacement? To create machine gods that would rule over them? To willingly put chains around their own necks? Friends, that's not hypothetical. That's happening right now, today. There's still hope. There's always hope. Jesus said in John 8:32, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." The truth is simple. We are in a spiritual war. We always have been. But most people can't see it because they've been taught that the spiritual realm isn't real. But it is real, and it's acting on us constantly. The good news? We don't have to listen. We don't have to open those doors. We don't have to invite darkness in, we can choose light. We can choose truth. We can choose life, but we have to wake up first. We have to see what's really happening. These tech billionaires, they're not evil men. They're brilliant men who've been deceived, who've opened doors they shouldn't have, who've made contact with forces that promised them godhood, but delivered slavery. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you hear about AI breakthroughs, about brain chips, about human-machine integration, ask yourself, where is this coming from? Who benefits? What door is being opened? And remember, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Here Timothy 1:7, don't be afraid, but don't be naive either. The spiritual realm is real, the entities are real, the war is real, and you get to choose which side you're on. Choose wisely. This has been the Silicon Valley Revelation. May God protect us all.